in
Yeah, I got you.
retrospect, you kind of you learn from them. So,
No, bro, you're just sweating because you have me on now. I know how it is. I
oh,
have
you
that
right,
effect
you
on
right.
people.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix this. Trying to get this off the bottom.
Oh yeah, I have to bring up the chat too, so I can see what everybody's saying.
Is this the new? I guess this is the new layout for this. I just updated Zoom the other day, like right after Dan Thurman, and now like
Okay.
it's not exiting after full screen.
Okay.
So like this bottom part right here, see where it says mute, stop video, share screen,
Yeah.
like that's not going away anymore. That's not
Dang.
a cool. That's not a vibe,
You can
guys.
probably do. Is it already full screen like F11? I think. Wait.
Yeah, it's
Hold up.
already full
Hold up.
screen.
All right, I got you.
It's like, I'm trying to figure it out. What are you doing, Nick?
That call.
That hole is in the background. All right, we're
Did
gonna
he
exit
begin?
full screen. We're gonna try this again. Give me a sec.
Okay. I
Boom.
see everybody in the chat. Hey, what up, David?
We got Boop
What's up,
Gang. What's up, everybody?
Nicole? Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
Nikki in the
Jordan.
chat.
Is that? I think it is. Wait, is she on a different account?
No, that's artistic trash. That's her
Oh,
brother.
oh, I thought
There
she
we
was
go.
bamboozling me,
No, she
man.
was not
Shoot.
bamboozling. That is Austin, dude. We've been playing some Fortnite with them. And we've been kind of killing
Okay.
it. So,
Yeah, I got you.
so guys, this is a test of the new internet connection. We are
Ooh.
finally at the new location, and so fingers crossed. I'm not gonna jinx it like I did Dan Thurman, so we'll just keep it at that. But we're gonna test it out, see how it goes. So you guys, let me know how the quality is. Let me know where everything is running. Caylor, let me know on your end too.
Yeah,
So,
sounds good. What you mean new internet? Did you get a new upgrade your wireless package?
oh yeah, dude. Yeah, no, dude, we had to switch hotel locations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they kind of kicked us out of that last one, so now we're here.
No.
We're vibing at the new internet site.
Hey,
Or
we vibing all the time, baby.
we vibing. But now we're a lot closer to a lot of things. So we just got this ramen, right? Yo, that ramen is delicious.
Yo, ramen slaps, dude. Especially just like ramen like shops, dude.
Oh
It's always
yeah.
good.
Well,
I typically, yeah. What?
the way they're doing it right now is a little strange. So
Mhm.
Nikki thinks it's cool. Um but like you just text them your order and you wait outside for like 10-15 minutes and then just bring it to you in a bag and you take it and leave. So there's
Yeah.
no like dine-ins or anything like that. That's just how they're
Okay.
doing it up here.
Dude, last time I went to get ramen, I got like it was like yuzu tea or something like that. Dude, that's pretty good.
Wait,
So
hold on. Boy got underwear hanging in the background. Is that me? Are you talking about me or Kaylor?
it's not me, bro. My background clean, baby. Look at my guy. We got Matt Allen in the background, baby. You already
That's Matt
know.
Allen, but you got to have the
Yeah,
frat Allen blanket now.
yeah, dude. I gotta have Fred Allen.
Yeah, what's
If
up,
only, if
everybody?
only.
Everybody, thank you to the chat. Huge F9. What's up, Womper?
F9.
There's a creeper going off behind Dylan. Gosh.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Shave your face, Womper. Yeah,
Ramen or pho? Yo, that's a question, dude. That is definitely a question.
I gotta go with pho. Be honest.
Are we talking like which do we prefer or which would we rather have like if you had to get rid of one?
If you had to get rid of one, let's do that one first.
Okay. So I would say if I had to get rid of one, I would get rid of ramen reluctantly, very reluctantly. Because dude, pho, like dude, bro, if you had Zach's grandma's pho, you can't tell me ramen. You cannot tell me ramen.
Oh, he's 100% spitting
Mhm.
facts right now. Facts,
But
no
yes,
printer. That's for you,
yes.
Josh. Uh, but I have to agree with you. I think FUD does a lot more for me in terms
Yeah.
of curing hangovers. Even though I haven't been like drunk in a
Yeah.
fat minute. Probably been since
Yeah.
I graduated college, so it's been forever. But
Yeah.
when I would get hungover, FUD was the immediate cure.
Yeah, it was always good. That or like Waffle House, but like Waffle House was always like so greasy. So like you
Yeah,
were out for like the whole day, pretty
yeah.
much.
I think pho is more consistently good for me in
Yeah.
general.
Oh yeah.
Ramen, you have to like really prepare that stuff, and it's
Yeah.
got
Or
to
to
be
go to
like
a good restaurant.
precise.
Yeah, definitely. With ramen though, I really dig the what is that, the pork one with the pork cutlets and whatnot. That's freaking good, dude.
With
But yeah,
pho
I
or
think
ramen.
yeah, with a ramen, dude. Typically with pho, I get the with beef. I typically don't get it with anything else other than beef. But then like ramen, I'll get either chicken or pork though. I'm
Yeah.
crazy with it.
Y'all need to get any what? Y'all need to get you an what is that?
Le
Biscuit and tequila.
LaFay's biscuit. Hey,
LaFay's.
I'll come get one next time I'm up at your house. We do it instead of going to Bojangles, dog.
Right. The inside jokes.
Dude, you already know.
Bojangles.
Dude, we literally just went to Bojangles. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but yeah, dude. That's what
So
we were doing, dog.
let's go ahead and hop over to that question that we were talking about earlier.
We were talking about earlier. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you and me were kind of side texting before we got on the podcast, talking
Yeah,
about
uh-huh.
how Jordan had asked one question, and it was in the Dan Thurman podcast,
Yeah,
and it was pertaining to like failure of trying new things, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and what you
Yeah.
thought.
So I was actually it was funny because I was like getting ready to take my laundry over to Drew since I don't have a washer over here right now. And I was like sitting there and like he was expecting me to come right over. And like I sat there and I like thought about it for like 30 minutes. I know you do the same thing to where like you'll like think of something like that and you'll just like go into it for like
Oh
ever.
yeah, those are my
It
shower
happens all the time.
thoughts.
Dude, exactly. But it's just like it happens at like random moments. But yeah, I did get though. So what I was thinking, and like so I was just kind of like randomly just brainstorming and just shooting out thoughts and stuff like that. And I was thinking of how everybody, not everybody, but I mean when you typically try a new thing, what gets people motivated as well as what kind of stops people from like pursuing that. And it could be with anything. It could be with let's see, like music. Well, that's obviously for me since I do that. um like music or just like video games or anything really. Like it's hard to try something new. And I think it really starts off with getting outside of your comfort zone first.
Yeah,
Because when you start something new, you're a beginner, obviously. And most of the time, like you're not going to be good at what you do at first. So it's like it's finding that balance of like um, just getting in there and doing it and expecting like and trying to get good at it. So
right.
like that.
Chandler said fear of the unknown.
Yeah, dude, fear of the unknown, that's definitely it. As well as fear of so what I've noticed, and I'll share my brief story. Basically, so for me, and so we went to high school together, and I picked up guitar in like the end of like ninth grade or like 10th grade.
Hmm.
And I really wanted to do that because our mutual friend Samir, he played guitar and he listened to all this metal stuff, and I thought it was just so cool. So I went in there and I was just like, I'm like, man, I want to like learn how to play this. And like I got my own guitar and I was like so bad, but because I thought I was good at it, like I personally thought I was good, even though I was bad. I kept on going with it because I was like, oh man, I'm good. And then like it started to be like, oh, this is fun. So I was just kind of like try to expand upon what was said like earlier. And I would say that there's uh, really a couple main points that if you're trying to try something new. And the first one is like just know that you're already stepping outside of your comfort zone,
Right.
and that you're not necessarily going to be a pro overnight. So that's the first one.
Well,
Well,
when I was listening to Dan Thurman, when I was listening back to it, and he was
yeah,
answering that question,
yeah,
he was talking about how even when you fail and you try at this one thing,
yeah,
it has to somewhat be aligned with your purpose, or you have to see a greater purpose within the
yeah,
activity that you're doing, or else you're just going to put it down and never pick it back up. You're just going to think, all right, well, what is the actual point of trying at this if it has no meaningful value of later on in life?
yeah,
So like he used the analogy of juggling, and seeing people juggle and pick it up, and then when they would fail they'd put it down, and he
yeah,
said he could see people that spark die.
yeah,
And he said, when that happens, I know in that instant that they'll never pick up juggling again. And
yeah,
so, just relating it to, your music or even this podcast,
hmm,
you know, I've noticed, like, shoot, when I've failed at a conversation or failed to articulate a thought, you kind of get discouraged there for a little bit, and you're like, well, what's
Yeah.
the point in even trying anymore? What's the point in doing it? But then I think back to how everybody has kind of built this community, and how much it's like how much of a value it has to me. So
Yeah.
I'm at the point to where, like, all right, even though I may have tripped over my words a little bit, here and there, I'm still working, and I know 10 years from now I'm going to be like you. I'm going to look back and be like, "Dang, that podcast was a little cringy." Just like you were,
You're
like,
really-
in like
yeah.
like in high school. You were like, "Dang, I played that a
Yeah.
little cringy."
Yeah, like, oh man, that was really not a good performance. I did not hit those notes at all.
Yeah, and I feel
Mhm.
like I'm going to be like that, and like if
Yeah.
this keeps going the way it's going right now, which
Yeah.
I pray that it does.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see myself looking back and just being like, in the moment, I'm like, yeah, that was a good podcast. But 10 years from
Yeah.
now, I'm like, dang, I've improved so much. That's a little cringy. You get over these
Yeah.
humps. I realized, especially like critiquing, uh, how how I interacted with Dan Thurman. I was obviously nervous, so I ended up repeating myself a lot. And if you go back and watch that podcast, like, I kept saying the same thing over and over again. I was like, oh,
Yeah. It's
why
like
did
that
I
one
do
kid.
that?
It's like that one kid in class that like tells a joke that he thinks is like super funny, and like nobody hears it. He tells it again.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, dude, why did I keep repeating myself over and over again? Like, I was trying to, I guess in my head I thought I was like emphasizing the point, and I was like articulating it out, but
Yeah.
it sounded repetitive. I'm like, all right, well, gotta not do that. That's a good note for future reference.
I got you, dude.
So no, I mean, taking it to heart, like exactly what you were saying, like you learn from your past mistakes, and you kind of have to get better with each failure.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. Yeah, and also like it is one of those things where like you can look back on it and like laugh at it because and the research that you have in your mind too is that you've gotten better at something. Because like I can look back on that and be like, oh man, I was really good because like I've gotten better, and then like like one day like you'll be able to like look back on it and be like, man, that was like really cringy because you've gotten better at it too. And I think honestly a really big part, and I guess I'm again a little sidetracked I guess mentally, but
Oh, we're fine.
um so what I relate that to music, obviously, because that's pretty much what I do. So, I can see what he's saying about like juggling too, because it's the same. It's been the same for me to where like people have asked me to like help them with guitar or help them like learn, and I'm like I'm always willing. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like for sure, like well we can get it. Um, but yeah, dude. So and then it's just very. I one thing that I try to make sure happens when I'm teaching someone guitar is that the first and foremost thing is, dude, they've got to be having fun. Because if they're
Yeah,
not having fun, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's like that for anything, really. If you're not having fun, you're not going to continue to do it.
sounds like a conversation I was having with, like, at the very
Mhm.
beginning of us working together. That sounds very much like the conversation that him and I had, and we
Yeah.
talked about organizing my schedule around work, and what is it that I want to do with all my time right now in Epic Professionals. And
Yeah.
so he was trying to get me to kind of carve out exactly what I wanted to do. But, coming in at 2025, I think 24, 25, when I
Yeah.
started, I was just like ready to do anything. And he's like, no, that's not the right approach. Like, you don't want to be doing that. You really want to figure out what it is you want to do right now. So that way you're not judging it later on and being like, I didn't have a good time with that task.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
I mean, like what you were saying, I think that's very important to
Yeah.
enjoy the task to begin with. Like, that's the
Yeah.
first and foremost. Find
Yeah.
pleasure somehow in that.
And definitely, like you said, it definitely relates to like your profession, like career and what you're doing in the workplace too. Because like if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to go the extra mile typically, for and really succeed. That's how I mean, I know we were talking before about what is success, but like that's kind of like how you succeed too is like by going that extra mile.
Yeah, well, how do
Um,
you define success?
so for me, success, I feel like it's so different for everybody. So how, and I would also say that it is different for every certain situation. If are you asking like successful in life? Are you asking successful in music, like successful in my career, or like what?
I guess like just
Mhm.
let's go general because there's
In
so
general?
many. Yeah, there's so many ways you could dive into success.
Okay. So for me, success, if I look, and I like to think like when I'm thinking about success in general, it's kind of like the hypothetical situation of like you're on your deathbed, you're looking back at your life. Would you say that you're successful? So like I put myself in that shoe, and I would say that I would want to be um, a compassionate person that is like caring. I don't attribute really finance with success more than I do just like my character as well as the impact that I've had on other people as
Right.
well. So that's pretty much for me. It would be more along the lines of that without getting too mushy gushy on you, baby.
Yeah, I think I would go in depth and say, I would define success as like satisfaction. How satisfied are you?
Yeah,
And
that's a good way to put it.
like, so if you're defining it as financial success, it's like, well, where do you draw that line of satisfaction? Like, are you
Yeah,
satisfied at being a six-figure salary? Are you
yeah,
satisfied at being a teacher salary? Like, where
hmm
do you draw the line? Like, how do you define
yeah.
that success?
And I
Well,
feel like for those individuals who have financial success like goals, I feel like it is a lot harder to draw that line too, because that line is always shifting. I feel like because once you, I mean, I'm obviously not there, but once you hit your like first like six figures, then you're like, man, I want to get to 1 million,
but is
and
it
maybe
is
that
it is it good to have that sort of drive, like to always push the edge? Like, is it?
with and this is my like pretty much like my life mantra pretty much is balance because you don't I personally don't want to always be reaching for more and I don't want to settle. So there's always that middle ground.
Yeah,
Um because if you always settle with everything, one day you're going to wake up and be like, "Man, I could have done a lot more with my life."
yeah. I think
But
that's
if
my
you
fear right now.
yeah. Mhm. But yeah, then again, if you take the other opposite way and you're always pushing for more, then you might like look back and be like, "Man, I'd never stop to smell the flowers," I guess, and
Right.
whatnot.
Let's get to
Yo,
some of these.
let's. Yeah, I was about to say let's get to some of these comments because if we don't, we're gonna get
All
lost, dude.
right, I'm gonna go back up here real quick to Chandler's. It's like skydiving. It's the initial jump that's the worst, but the feeling after it is worth it. Like I'm like starting
Mhm.
something that you're gonna fail.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for checking. Oh, what's up, Matt? Yeah, you got to see the frat Allen,
Oh,
the
dude,
frat
Frat
Allen
Allen,
post I
yeah,
got. I posted. Yeah, it's in the
dude, I
Discord,
love it.
Matt. So you got to go check that out. Um,
And we got a couple pho homies.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I thought the podcast went really well. Well, thank you, David. Yeah, I critiquing. You're always more critical of yourself than other people are of you. So I wanted to make sure I was being realistic and trying to improve the best that I could. Like I said, I was repeating so much stuff over and over again. So I know that after the first point is made, I should probably just stop that. Granted, I was really nervous, so I think now today I'm a lot more comfortable because there's not as much pressure on this podcast as it was for Dan Thurman because he's Dan Thurman. So
that's that dude.
yeah, he's the dude. I love how I'm on the podcast without actually being on the podcast, featuring my face in Caylor's background.
Yeah, you
uh,
already know, dude.
we
Get the
gotta
Matt
love.
Allen blanket.
We gotta get more
Start to take it off and
thrumpets
wear
out
it.
here. I'm that
Yeah,
kid.
Swampers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Dale. I was paying attention. I promise. Everything we have talked about, I have been paying the slightest bit of attention.
I know it seems like he doesn't pay attention, but like he is. Just trust me on
Yeah,
that
I'm
one.
absorbing it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Absorbing, yeah. Marinating in the sauce.
How much more successful are you gonna get before you sell out? Oof.
Before I sell out, what are you talking about? Are you talking about music and video games and life? Man, what y'all want me to sell out?
Are you talking about the
All right, let's see.
podcast? That dank oregano.
Oh,
What's up,
that
Rex?
Tanker, baby. Hey, what's up, Rex? Dude, yeah, let's both answer that actually. So,
What do you
how
define as
about
selling out though? Like, because
yeah, okay, all
there's like
right.
a difference between like making like hitting that market value, and then now you can tack on sponsorships with that.
Yeah.
Like because I know a lot of bands that a Day to Remember, for example. A
Okay.
Day to Remember got big, but they
Yeah.
were originally like the small band, and they started taking off, and then everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, you're selling out with your music!" Like, what does that actually mean? Like, they just signed a record label, and like they. Oh, I don't know what she just said, but
Chandler says to create your own phase clan.
yeah, like I don't know what you define as selling out. Like,
I guess for me, it's probably different. Like people would say different things for everybody, but for me, it would be losing your original intent. I
yeah.
would say.
Well, if
So
that's the
like I get,
case, daydreams
mhm,
ain't we keeping the
yeah,
same intent.
I feel you. And it's the same for me and me and music. I don't know where I'm gonna go with my my stream yet, and maybe get some sponsors. You're gonna see a DX Racer chair. I'm gonna be like, let's go, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
But yeah, no. At least for music, I would say like it's like losing your original intent. That's I guess the best way that I could put it,
Okay.
because I mean everybody has a different like view on that. So it's just like, and you could not sell out, and people could think you're selling out too. I guess is the way. So like I guess in a musical standpoint, it's like if I'm writing the songs that I want to write, and I'm like for me I just want to like let's say I just want to write the songs I want to write. I want to play it. I want people to like listen to it like no matter what. Um and you could view it I guess as selling out if like the content kind of changes, like if you're writing different songs than before, people will be like, "Oh man, you're selling out, blah blah blah."
Yeah, I
Sometimes
think
it's just
selling out for
very
me is when you'll know when Daydreams is sold out when you see Raid Shadow Legends. That's when you know Daydreams is
yeah,
sold out.
yeah, we need
No.
to get this man the sponsorship, but
Yeah, we got to get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Like
mhm.
that's it.
Yeah, that's the end all goal, bro. That's all I want. That's success right there.
Yeah. Oh my
Y'all
gosh.
heard it first, baby. All
Uh
right. And then Chandler says, I think selling out for me is fitting into every slot that people have set for you. If you switch it up and keep whomping you and being you and not marketing yourself and your name for someone else, it is way
yeah.
better and feels more honest than someone who hops on the first wave. Then they they get then no one cares or knows them anymore because it's irrelevant.
Okay, see, I'm not the only one that
Mhm.
messes up on that, so
Oh
but
yeah, dude. We all human. We all human.
I'm
Bro, I
here.
always say, dude, I always say I cannot talk, and I have such a bad way with words.
Oh, you're
Like,
telling me, man. Like,
dude,
especially
for
after
real.
watching Dan Thurman. I know I'm
Yeah.
repeating on it, but oh,
You're gonna look back at this one and be like, bro, I said that like 10 times.
you're right. I am. Oh man. But
Yo,
I think I'd have to agree. Like losing the original intent on what you set out to do. Like I don't
yeah,
think Daydreams has really. I don't think that we're going to ever go down that path.
yeah,
I think we have enough level-headed people that support us that they would probably message me first and be like, Dylan, like listen, that didn't feel like a normal podcast. That didn't feel like you were
yeah,
paying attention to your chat or paying attention to your community. So
yeah,
I think I have enough people that would reach out to me and let me know that I think that it'll kind of keep us grounded in that sense. So
definitely.
oh yeah, Josh, tell Jordan I said hello. So
He says
actually,
hi.
Josh, we're going pretty good tonight. So knock on
Bro,
wood.
I'm gonna hold this against her, dude. Jordan has been missed both of the podcasts I've been on. I'm gonna take that personally. I'm
Oof.
taking that so personally.
Oof. Calling her out. Hey,
Yeah,
but her
dude.
brother's here. So
Yeah, that's all
that's all
good.
that matters. So Austin, if you in chat, tell Jordan I say hey. You too, Josh. Let me go back up just a little bit. I feel like people are always going to want bigger and better for themselves. I personally set
Yeah.
smaller goals to reach out and try to keep those little battles as a success. Yes, Caylor. you can drive yourself insane doing it, but you don't need to waste anything. Never sell out. Be your own face clan. Daydreams with Dylan. I'm telling you, the second you see Raid Shadow Legends on our profile, that's when we'll be making
all right,
it.
So is it selling out then? Because all right, so what is your original intent with the podcast? Or do you want to reach as many people as you can? Do you just want to? What is it?
Yeah, I think I want to. So this might sound cheesy. I want to make a difference with the podcast, right? I want my biggest problem, and I brought this up on the Dan Thurman podcast, and I was like, all right, well, on Facebook when I sign in, I just see like this giant disconnect between ideas. Yeah. I see this giant disconnect between you're either the right or the left at this point, and there's information supporting both arguments when you read all of the articles. Like, for example, right now, there's information on the coronavirus on whether or not we should open up or stay closed. Both are pretty compelling, in my opinion. I mean, but it depends on your subjective experience, right? It depends on that experience that you've dealt with and your life experience that leads you to kind of develop a specific viewpoint. And so I want Daydreams to be that middle ground where all of us can just come in here, connect, feel welcomed, and all of our ideas and our experiences can be shared.
Yes.
And we can all just, have a good time. Because, again, the problem is this mass amount of information that's being presented on Facebook that I just feel is just so overwhelming. Like, what do you believe at this point? Like, what do you choose to believe?
Exactly. And most of the time you choose to believe what everybody else in your vicinity believes.
Right. And so if you don't have that experience or you haven't branched out, then you don't have a broader view. So I want to be that broader view for people. I want people to come in here and share your experience and talk about, what you've done, what you've researched, what you think about it. And I want us to be able to come here and connect on those ideas and not be just a left or right wing bias. I do not want that.
And that's so important because honestly, every single person in here, I guarantee, has
coronavirus.
Yo, who said that? But has either been in or seen an argument online where it's two people that just don't care about what each other has to say. It's like, this is what I think, and I'm right, you're wrong, you're stupid, and this is what I think, and you're right, you're wrong, you're stupid. And neither side is really listening to what the other has to say. Honestly, at that point, you're really wasting your time.
Honestly, and
wasting your time.
I actually I encountered that the other day, and I decided, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna read. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of entertained by your guys' argument. I'm just gonna read each of your comments real quick, and literally, it was that. And it's two people that we went to high school with, and
it was on Facebook.
Yes, it was on Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh! And one dude was trying to sound like he's writing a book, and he's writing a scientific literature. And I'm like, dude, all right, completely pointless. Right now you're on Facebook. You don't need to try and sound like you're smart.
Seriously. That's what people try to do is they will try to knowledge flex and sound smarter than they are, Some
they'll use these big words. I'm like, bro, you didn't even use that right. Shut up.
I'm about to vernacular on you.
Right? What's up, Arctic Dwarf? How you doing? Solid, dude. All right, let's get to some of these comments real quick. I'm telling you, cuz, be sponsored by Big Bump Gaming. Raid Shadow Legends, we coming for you, bro. We coming for that sponsorship.
We're gonna be sponsored.
Coronavirus. Oh, how long are you in Maryland? So we're here for another until the 23rd. So we'll be here for another week. What? So we're coming back the 24th. Let's see. Everybody has their own opinion. And one thing I learned is that you can't trust everything you see now. It's easy to fake news articles. It's easy to get stuff completely wrong. I mean, look at the Kim Jong thing. TMZ even reported that he died when he did it. Well, TMZ is the last credible source I would ever reach out to for important political news.
You mean BuzzFeed,
right? Hey, if you guys are watching on Twitch or you guys subscribe on YouTube, just let me know in the chat, because I will not be able to see your guys' notifications, like if you guys sub or follow. The problem is with using Restream is I don't get that capability to get that notification. So if you guys do end up doing that, just tell me in the chat and I'll give you a huge shout out. Just a huge thank you. Thank you so much for even tuning in. That I really appreciate that. Let's see. Caylor, that's what started trigger culture, because people don't want to listen to each other at all, but they want to share everything they know.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's kind of why I want to be this middle ground, especially like
Definitely.
for Daydreams. Like Daydreams, like I want people to share their experience. I want people to share, what they know without getting triggered.
Yes, and that's good, because it's just like, if you have a different opinion than me, but like, and say like, I have this opinion, you have this opinion, like I want to be able to talk and understand your point of view without you just being like, this is why you're dumb,
So Arctic Door said experience with what? So like take, for example, the coronavirus. So we're right now, the biggest issue that I have, especially with logging onto Facebook, is seeing whether or not we should open up the economy or we should keep it closed. Now, based off of your subjective experience, whether you're working in healthcare or not, or you have people that you actually care about, or depending on your vicinity to the actual topic in question, it's going to dictate whether or not you believe that the U.S. economy should reopen. And so I don't believe either side is right or wrong. I think that there are good points to reopening the economy, yet I think that there are good points to keeping it closed. So the problem is there's that disconnect again on Facebook or any social media platform, even YouTube. You'll see people like right or left. There's no in between. There's nobody talking about that middle ground. And so I kind of want Daydreams to be that middle ground where you could talk about your experience. Hey, I saw this today when I was working in the hospital. Hey, I've been working in the hospital and there hasn't been that many cases. Or hey, I've been in the hospital and there has been that many cases. So I want Daydreams to be that middle ground. That's what I mean by experience. I know that was a long explanation.
I'm gonna go ahead and speak for you too, but also to find other like-minded people who also want to know about the middle ground or also willing to discuss rather than just so.
Yeah, no, and that's the whole point. Is sometimes we'll get trolls that'll come in here and just be like, "Do you like Donald Trump?" Like, well, it's a tough question. It's not like I do like Donald Trump. It's not like I don't. I mean, he's, we're trying to figure it out right now. It's not that easy of a question to answer, but everybody wants you to pick a side.
Yeah.
Like you're either right or left. Like you either like this or you don't. Like, well, can I not just think about it? Like, can I not just have my own opinions? Like, why do I need to actually choose a side here? Like, I think that's completely dumb. So, and I think I've always been like that. I don't think I've been like super left or super right or very biased. Not that I don't want to toot my own horn. I feel like that's probably a bad thing to say, but
no, honestly, that's a really good thing because it means you're thinking for yourself.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Well, and that's what I want Daydreams to be. I want people to think for themselves. I want them, to fact check what I say or what my guest says. I want them to go out and figure it out. Think, have their own opinions. So let's get to some of these comments. Chandler says, people for some reason nowadays can't agree to disagree. Factual statement, brethren. But usually those people aren't the smartest ones anyways. Also, I noticed on the news in today's times, it's not really much of facts anymore. The report is in order to get you to pick one of two sides and go from there. Chandler, please actually look at your phone. Alexis joined in chat just to tell Chandler to look at his phone.
I'm dead.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you for the view, Alexis. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Appreciation we out here.
Yeah, but no, I agree with Chandler. I don't think people are actually agreeing to disagree now.
Yeah, okay. I got you. So I think the original question was what is selling out, I guess, or what do you define as selling out? Okay, all right. Just making sure we're some sort of track. Because honestly, dude, if you know both of us, you know that it's gonna start from here and just go like
Honestly,
that.
that's fine because I think it flowed pretty nicely.
Yeah,
Like
it
I
does.
think I don't think we like it went on a complete tangent. I
Yeah,
think that kind of conversation flowed nicely, and I
yeah,
like it when it does that because it feels more genuine and natural.
yeah, yeah. Definitely real and not
Yeah,
like forced. I got you.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Again,
And
that's another reason why I was like I look back and I was like a little cringy because I didn't feel like I was natural, like I was being like my true genuine self. Like here, like I feel fine. Like I can be goofy, I can be stupid, I can say
yeah.
whatever the hell I want.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, I can cuss, bro. I honestly I like this format, and I just need to figure out how to translate that in like a professional, like not a professional. That's a weird. Um,
How to present it?
yeah, how to present it with like influential guests like Dan Thurman. Because
Yeah.
I definitely felt like a lot of pressure writing on that, and obviously there was. I mean, like 25 people viewed it, like that crazy. Like
Yeah, dude, it was high,
it
man.
was, it was bumping.
Oh. Yo, I turned that on, man. My CPU overheated. I was watching that. That was so high, bro.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Dang, dude.
Let's see. No one ever wants to meet in the middle anymore. People are always so close-minded. What a world. When do people agree to
Yeah.
disagree? What year did the good old days end?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like it's always just human nature to kind of be closed-minded, or not really necessarily human nature, I guess, but like a lot. It's just so many people are, and with the advent of the internet, it's a lot more apparent.
Oh, bro, get this. All right, so remember how you were talking earlier about how you'll just go on like a philosophical train of ideas, and then so you were gonna go to Drew's house to do your laundry, and then you ended up just getting stuck for like 30 minutes.
I never said that
Yeah.
in my whole life.
Dude, I had that the other day, and I was thinking, all right, so as the world sort of evolves, and there's obviously still racism in the world, like
Yeah,
obviously, and so I don't want to go down that path, but at some point there will be a dissolution of what racial identity really is, because nowadays like people are mixing and making babies left and right. Like
yeah,
obviously, Nikki and I are an interracial couple, so we're gonna have interracial children, and so I don't think that whatever. I think instead of more physical traits of dissociation, I think there will be more of a radicalization of ideas.
okay,
And why I say that is because it's in human nature to be biased. Like
yeah.
we have sports groups, right? We have the Atlanta Hawks, who suck, but and then
Yo, don't talk about the Hawks like that, man.
all right. The Atlanta Falcons, who suck. All right. And then you have the Green Bay Packers. All right.
Yeah,
So, or the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay.
yeah,
So, human nature has always been to sort of identify yourself with the group.
yes,
And
definitely.
you can use the sports analogy. You can
Mm,
say that, well, I identify with the Atlanta Hawks. Or not the Atlanta Hawks, but the Atlanta Falcons. They're my
yeah,
team. Okay. And so now when I go to a sports event, I'm rooting for the Atlanta Falcons. Okay.
yeah,
Same goes for the Green Bay Packers. But what happens is now we're competing on a sports field, which is more acceptable.
yeah,
But if you take that and translate that to like Facebook, where you're competing for ideas, it's the same concept. People are joining teams and they're
yeah.
representing their team and they're fighting for their team. They want their team to win. They want their
I
team to
got you.
score that touchdown.
Definitely. And honestly, and I feel
Oh
this
Lord,
is.
Dylan trying to use football as an example. I know I'm the last person that should be using football as an example.
Oh my
I
goodness!
don't.
You almost got roasted by your boss.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, football. I don't watch football, so. But I mean, it's the same. It's the sports team concept.
Yeah, the
It's the
concept.
team
Yeah,
concept.
and it all stems, in my mind, it all stems from the like human nature of like social human nature and wanting to have a place of belonging. So that's why I feel like that's why people gravitate towards those ideas of like, this is my high school clique. Like, are you a nerd or a jock or whatever? What team do you like support? Blah blah blah. What race are you? I guess
Yeah.
Which, man, I feel like racism is so dumb, man. There's so many better things you can do with your time, man.
Right. It's still like
But
low level thinking. Like,
it's so simpleton stuff, dude.
yeah, it's like, all right, it's really low level thinking, and I don't
Yeah,
even want to go there. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
for real.
because then, yeah, let's just
That's bad
skip it.
juju, dog.
Well, the thing is, well, we could take this and just talk about like cliques, like you were talking about in high school.
Yeah.
So it's like always been a thing, even from the time you were young, to associate yourself with people that think like you, act like you, or talk like you, or even
Yeah.
look like you. Like it's not something that's new to human nature, and I don't think it's like easily taught. I think that's racism can be taught, but in a general sense, I think people will actually gravitate towards other people that are similar to them,
Yeah.
like you were talking about high school.
It's a
Cliques.
sense of belonging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's that basic psychological need, that group identity that makes you feel special. Like, oh, I belong to this group. I belong to so and so. I can now identify. That's part of personality building. Like, that's actual psychology 101. Like,
Yeah.
people need an identity to associate themselves with. So look like he shoot a 3-pointer for a touchdown for a hole-in-one.
Yo, I'm about to be Kobe, Michael
Hey.
Jordan. You already know.
God, I love sports. Racism and unintelligence goes hand in hand. Facts. But it's like that mindset is always there. It's just how it's expressed. Like, so we're not talking about racism here, but we're talking about clickism. All right. Like,
Clickism?
All right, we're coming up with words here. We're
big
coming up with
words
words.
now.
Yeah, we're coming up with words.
Let me get a big brain hours in the chat, please.
But again, it's the same idea of racism, but it's translated into the racism of ideas instead of the racism of like race. I don't know, like I don't know how to say that any better.
I got you.
Big brain hours.
Yeah, dude.
Would you agree that it's okay to try and associate with everyone to get knowledge from everyone, though? Yeah, I think that. I think that the more people that you know, that's the idea of travel, right? The idea of travel, and that there's a saying that travel is the cure for ignorance. Because the more you travel, the more you experience, the more culture you come to understand and integrate in your own personality. That's why I hate the idea that cultural appropriation is this bad thing. Like, what? No, if we're doing it right, then we're integrating like ideas of each culture into like our own general sense. Like when people are like, oh, white people shouldn't be wearing like Asian outfits. Like, all right, well, are we trying to segregate Asian ideas to just the Asian community? Like, doesn't that in itself mean racism? Like, we're gonna keep the Asian ideas to the Asians?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's the intent behind it, honestly.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, it's if you're talking about, let's say, you said like white people wearing like an Asian dress or something like that. Like, I think there was this one like girl who it was this obviously it was a white girl that was wearing it was like some traditional like Chinese dress or something like that to her prom, and I think some people were like, oh, my culture is not a blah blah blah, and it's just like, I mean, I feel like it's the intent behind it. Like, are you wearing it to make fun of Asian people, or are you wearing it because you are fascinated with the culture?
Right. There's a difference between like someone dressing up in blackface for Halloween, or someone wearing a prom dress that's designed from Asian Oriental descent, and expressing it. Like, I hate the idea that cultural appropriation is this somehow evil bad thing. Like, no, if we're doing it right and we really want to end racism, like, we need to be appropriating cultures. Like, we need to be integrating all cultures into one collective unit. That's America. Like, that's what America is. America is this melting pot of cultures. Like, so to just say, all right, well, Duluth, where we're from, should just stay Asian over there. Let's just keep it Asian. That's and all the ideas should be Asian. Like, and they should stay in that group. Like, that makes no sense to me. That's racist.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and I feel you on that. Eh, I totally. I was just listening to what you had to say. I forgot what I was gonna say too, man. I'm such a
What are
good
you?
listener.
What are you watching TikTok? Oh, she bought Rosetta Stone for
Oh,
Japanese.
what's you learning for
Japanese.
Japanese?
Do not
All right, I'll see y'all later.
When I come
Bro,
on Japanese,
I will. Oh my gosh, I will be learning Japanese so I can watch anime
I want to watch
without
anime
subtitles,
with
bro.
subtitles.
Ugh.
It had to
Talk
be-
about cultural appropriation, dude. I love me some anime.
And then
What?
got the unlimited version.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen.
He- no,
Vietnamese is
like-
hard, bro. Yeah.
I was like, nah.
Yeah, I
Vietnamese
see his
hard, bro. Vietnamese
Oh,
hard.
man.
I think cultural appropriation is stupid. Nothing wrong with experiencing different cultures. I completely agree with
Definitely.
Dylan.
It's all the intent behind it.
Yeah, that there are so many cultures out there. Why would it not be okay to adopt ideas from every one of them in order to associate with them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the idea of integrating culture into your own expression of reality. To say that, pretty big brain.
Yeah. Big brain hours. You already know we're in big brain
The
hours.
literal meaning of Despacito.
No.
I love it.
So, and I think also too to say also to talk about that is just like some of like the I guess fear comes from ignorance and like not knowing, and just like not knowing different cultures and stuff like that. So like if some people are like afraid of whatever blah 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 or just not on edge, and it's just like stems from just like not knowing. And the
Yeah.
way to know and to become not ignorant is to experience different cultures. I mean,
Right.
like A to B, dog.
A to B. A to B. No, I completely agree. I hate it when people say that cultural appropriation is this like somehow bad thing.
Yeah.
Especially like, does that mean that I can't adopt or like participate in any of my wife's culture? Like, can I
No,
not?
you can't.
Like, was it wrong of me to like wear the aliyah at my wedding? Like,
Yeah.
no, bro. Like, I love her, she loved me. Like, bruh, and we're gonna bring like a bruh. We're
And
gonna
I
bring
feel
like a
like on that-
kid into this world that has both cultures. So
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say too. Is like for someone like me who is mixed, who is half Asian and half white, like where do I stand then? Like,
yeah, I mean, like, do you take a side in cultural appropriation? No. Like, it's the
Yeah.
integration of cultures into your own expression of reality.
Yeah.
So that's
Brilliant.
my biggest issue with people saying that it's like this evil thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's also fear of the unknown. I bet if you locked two races from different culture, or races together, for a day, they'd come out as friends.
Yeah, because they're bashing down that wall and they're bashing down that ignorance and learning that behind this like race is a person and not just like and that's how like I feel we can really break down a lot of these types of things and just like not
Dell says interesting conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'd like to like kind of say too like also like and this is not like race but like more as like kind of just like I guess information. I don't know how to say it, but like so for me like when I was like younger and I was not like I hadn't been around special needs people, and I mean obviously Dylan, your brother special needs, but like I just did not know how to approach them. I did not know how to interact with them. And you start like you just don't, because you don't know how to do that. You're just like, how do I like interact with this person? And going to camp has really taught me like how that like they're people just like us,
Yeah.
and like kind of started to break down some of those like misconceptions and stuff. And like they all have personalities, they all have things they like and they don't like. And
Well,
it's just what
go ahead.
and I was just saying, like, it's just like you can really fight a lot of this stuff by like learning, but it's the people's will to learn that
Yeah.
really like sidetracks that.
Well, stereotypes, for example, I mean, they're heuristics that allow us to kind of operate in the world a little bit easier. So people develop these sort of stereotypical attitudes or behaviors for people that they don't really know. And so they start to think that they can apply this stereotype to literally everybody across the board. I mean, and if you applied the white person stereotype to me, I mean, I'd probably be an oddball out. So, I mean, it's just being smart about it. It's being smart about, actually evaluating the person on an individual level. And that's where I think, where racism will sort of equal out and end in the next coming generations. I do believe that, it's on a decline. And with each generation becoming more and more mixed and multiracial, I think that racism will cease to be a thing later on. But I think that'll come with its own consequences. Not to say that racism, like the obliteration of racism, is a bad thing. Like, I want to let them know, like, that's good. We want to get rid of racism. But I believe that with the obliteration of racism will come more racial, closed-minded ideas, radical ideas, where people will instead stop associating the person with the individual, or stop associating the individual
bias with the race.
They'll start to associate more ideas and become more selective with their biases. Like, example, the left and the right that's going on today, like that whole bias in the political atmosphere. I think that that's only going to actually get worse the more and more people decide to segregate themselves in terms of ideologies.
Honestly, too, like, your ideologies are also a product of your environment and your upbringing too. So you start to have your preconceived notions come from somewhere. A lot of it comes from either your parents or your environment, because if you learn to think a certain way, let's say like you live in a small town and you are used to being around this one group of people, then you may think differently if you haven't been exposed to another kind of person.
Right. And so you can see that exactly with Atlanta, right? So Atlanta is like this big city. And if you look at Atlanta, you'll be able to see that, it's mostly a blue state, or a blue city, sorry. Yes. She's about to flame me for saying a blue state instead of a blue city.
Boy.
Yeah. But, in smaller cities around Georgia, you'll see that depending on where people are located based off agriculture or based off, access to certain goods or certain communities, that their ideas are a lot more consolidated and closed mind. And they think that their experience of the world is their only experience and the only reality that can be expressed. That's why travel is so important. That's why travel and, getting out and meeting people is actually critical, because it is the cure of hashtag make Atlanta a state.
But what you're saying though, like, that's literally, I feel like what Rex was saying in his comment, which states closed-minded people, they're scared to take that leap and open up to people. Also, do not want to stray away from what they were taught growing up about certain races or cultures.
Right.
Like, it goes hand in hand with what you're saying.
Yeah, they have this idea of their, I guess, parents, role models, or communities, and how, it's they're the right structure. They've gotten them there. They've gotten them to the place that they are in their life. So it can't be wrong because they've gotten me this far, right? Like, their ideas and everything, they have to be right. They've gotten me this far. So, I mean, people don't want to admit that their current life structure or their current reality could actually possibly be, something completely different.
Yeah, because people don't like being wrong, dude.
No, for real. Like, and that's the problem. And again, that's the problem with Facebook, right? That's the problem with most social media platforms now, is people are just so isolated on their thinking. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like, it's so frustrating.
The only race I see is the Daytona 500, baby. Like, yee-hee.
Let's see. All right, let me go back to some of these comments. I also believe that ideas are taught. If you read a book on slavery or the Holocaust and oppression, obviously you think they're wrong and not okay. But if someone you look up to is saying something different, then you're going to be confused. I mean, that's the point, right? So I feel like you're growing up in a small community, and the ideas of radical races have gotten you to this point in your life so far that to where you define success. Then you're not going to see an issue with being racist, right? So when I
Makes
mean,
sense.
I find that incredibly disturbing that people don't actually like branch out and experience more with their life. So
Yeah, because there's so much more you can do with your life than sitting there hating people. Like, there really is. Like, you know. But yeah, dude, I feel you on that.
people too damn sensitive. Grow some damn balls, and some skin.
Wait,
LOL.
where did you see that?
That's Rex's comment.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry, I'll stop. Hold on, Dylan. How big is your sample size for the assumptions you make about social media today? It's just my own perspective. It's not any like sample size. There's no. I guess if you want to take all my friends on Facebook, so that's a sample size of about 1,000.
Oh, you got a lot of friends.
I
dude.
got a lot of
But
friends, bro.
Then also you could say that is what is that? There's the sample bias because you are a 25-year-old white male with a college degree that lives in blah blah blah. You know, like you could like say that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, that there's a sample bias there.
Yeah, I try to stay out of especially like racial politics. Like I try to stay away from the one shooting that happened just a couple days
Yeah.
ago, and obviously the acts were egregious, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay away from that. But I just
Yeah.
want to talk about the psychological components, like that. The radicalization of ideas and racial identity is what's disturbing to me.
I got you.
Yeah. Whoa. So Dylan, you go to the South Side with me? Yeah, I'll go to the South Side with you. I don't care. Well, 1K Facebook friends would have flexed. But honestly, I've been somebody like I've grown up. I've actually had like the luxury of growing up with people of a lot of different racial identities. Like obviously I hung out with more Asian kids than I did white kids. Obviously, my wife is Vietnamese. You're Cambodian.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot.
And that's funny you say that because like for me, I was the white kid of the group because like it was me. Like, so I'm like half Cambodian, half white. And my Cambodian cousin, we had a Korean friend, a Mexican friend, a black friend. Like we had, you know, like everybody, but no white people. So I was the white guy because I was half white.
That's what I'm saying. Like we've had the luxury of being in a multiracial friend group. Like you can count Drew as Mexican, right?
No.
No. I mean, but my mom comes from, you know, Puerto Rican background. My cousins are legit, like my cousins are black. You know, you're Asian, my wife's Asian. I really didn't hang out with that many white kids except for maybe Ryan and Chase and Drew.
And that wasn't until like high school.
Yeah, that wasn't until high school. I mean, my best friend Gabe growing up, he's Puerto Rican. So like I legit had like such an awesome diversified friend group growing up.
Yeah.
So I think that's why my perspective is a little bit more open-minded than a lot of people would consider.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I didn't have that typical white racial friend group growing up. Like I was the whitest kid, especially with my long, like my hair was more blonde than this in high school. So I was.
This man had the really blonde hair.
Ooh, you ain't ready for it.
Wait. The flip flops with the jeans. Wait. The seashell necklace. Oh! You would have asked this man, oh, you got the Justin Bieber haircut? He go. Who's Justin Bieber?
Bro, I had the whole surfer vibe growing up. I'll have to show pictures on stream sometime. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I've truly been blessed with our friend group.
Yeah.
I honestly really have. Let's see. People getting shot on the streets is disturbing to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, for real. It's no matter. It's people doing mean things to other people, dude.
So wait, what? So where was Scooby Dylan if you were Shaggy? Oh my gosh.
Scoob.
I also feel like people take isolated incidences and pair them to a group or culture as a whole, which is wrong in my opinion. And so again, I can't speak on people, getting shots in the street because I don't have that experience. Like if someone has that experience, of living in fear of that, I would rather have them on to talk about it.
Yeah.
I can't justify that experience, nor can I take away that experience. Like, so, and I would not be doing it justice if I was to sit here and try to talk about something like that I have no knowledge on or no experience to kind of express. That's why I think the podcast is such a great platform, because it allows someone that has had that real-time experience to come on here. And so I want to branch out into having multiple people on the Zoom call at one time while we're doing the podcast, to where I can have somebody that has one viewpoint and the other person that has the other viewpoint, and then we can all just talk it out. Just talk.
And that'd be good. And I feel like also, so this is how I kind of like look at the isolated incident thing. I relate that there's no really good like name for it, but this is how I see it. It's just, so when you buy a new car, you first go and you go and you get your car, and then you start driving it, and all of a sudden you look around and you see a lot more people with that same car. You like I say I bought a Camry, like I can look around and I'll be like, oh, that this person has a Camry, this person has a Camry. It's not necessarily that so many other people went out and bought that car the day after that you bought it. It's the fact that you're looking for those things,
right?
And because you start
that
looking
highlight bias.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what it's called, is that highlight bias. So like obviously people have a fear of flying because the news reports when a plane crashes. But, chances are you're more likely to die in a car crash.
Yeah.
But since the news reports only when planes crash, you now have this highlight bias in your brain.
Yes.
And that's what generates that fear of flying.
Yes.
Because you're highlighting, all right, well, the news said this. That's the only perspective and experience that I have. So now I'm stereotyping all planes.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, same with, same with crime. I mean, people view it one way because the news is reporting on it specifically one way. And so when you watch the news, you would now have a highlight bias that generates this stereotypical response. So.
Yeah. It's just the highlight thing, like new car highlight, whatever you want to call it. It's just when you start looking for things, that's when you start finding them, and then you're like, oh, look, see, this does that, because you want to prove yourself right, or you want
right. That's when it leads into the confirmation bias that's so rampant on Facebook right now, because again, with the whole coronavirus situation that's going on right now, like there are two opposing viewpoints right now, and they're both coming from credible sources like doctors. And there's like, all right, well, the coronavirus isn't really that bad. We need to build up like this herd immunity. We should reopen the American economy. And then you have the other one that's like, all right, well, the coronavirus is pretty bad. It's killing people at this so and so rate. Maybe we should extend the shutdown. So it's like, all right, well, it's just people that are agreeing with one point, agreeing with one side, and then just sharing that one side.
Yes.
You want to add something to that? Can you guys hear her? All right. Blanchi, whatever his name.
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki's. Can I get some side of wasabi with that?
Hey, that's appropriation, bro.
They're
I take offense to that. We're gonna scrap, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna scrap, bro.
Yeah. We've already scrapped.
Well, again, that's the problem. Like, so I'll see reports on where it's like how bad it's affecting people, and then I'll see another report where it's not affecting people that bad at all. And so it's like this misinformation, this I get that, and so it's like, all right, well, how do we discern what's correct now? Like,
Also, nobody can hear her. They're
oh,
saying to repeat.
she was saying how this one doctor, the Surgeon General, Dr. Finacci, whatever his name is. Yeah, I can't repeat him. Or like express his last name. I don't know. But she was saying how like there's like a new report that he did or he like released that says it's affecting children differently and how it's it's bringing up signs of Kawasaki with the K. Yeah, and so that's what she was expressing to me. But then again, you could probably find on the internet where it's not doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's there is like if you look at one report, it'll say that it is, and if you look at another report, it'll say that it's not. So my biggest issue right now is like, all right, well, I want to know it's true. How do I know what's true? Like, how do I know which information to believe? But people are using confirmation bias instead of to just discern, all right, maybe there is more than one side or more than one perspective to this. People are using confirmation bias to just say, all right, this side is correct. This side is wrong. So, like a motorcycle. Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your dog. Corona's coming.
Coronavirus. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and murder hornet. I want to put this earth. I was put on this earth to save us from corona. Honey, where's my super suit?
Oh man, we out here. But yeah, dude, honestly, like, and this made me think of something too. When we were talking about like how like you can't pronounce a name. It's really interesting to me because there's a lot of people who take on a different name because their name is hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
Actually, one key example of this is the guy you know who Timothy De La Ghetto is?
Yeah.
So he went by the name Timothy De La Ghetto because it's a lot easier to pronounce than his last name. And he recently actually he doesn't go by De La Ghetto anymore. He goes by his name, which I can't say because I didn't learn it. I guess that's my bad. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's really interesting to be able to that's kind of a way to kind of like bridge the gap too, is by like not having to adapt and like call yourself something else just because it doesn't fit in with the culture kind of. But I think definitely like that is definitely a two-way street.
Yeah.
Because like dude, it's like you got to be willing to learn as well as you've got to be willing to tolerate. And what the reason why I say that is like, dude, if you have a name that like I've never seen before and I have no idea how to pronounce, but I try my best to pronounce it, don't get mad at me because I'm trying, you know?
Yeah, you're right. And there are certain languages that literally, if you do not learn the language past a certain age or before a certain age, then there are certain like phrases or like what's the word? Like sounds that you cannot make.
Sounds,
there's certain accents that you cannot say, or certain phrases, certain syllables that you just can't say. Like I know in Vietnamese, like if I tried to pronounce, like I still can't pronounce Nikki's middle name correctly. I have tried.
Hey,
I
Nicole,
have
get on the mic.
legit tried.
Hey, Nicole, get on the mic.
Nicole, get on the mic. Get on the mic. Tell him your last name.
No, middle name.
Middle name, sorry, your middle name.
What, y'all can't say it?
I can't say it, no. What's your middle name? Phung Kan.
No.
See, I like literally, I try to say it. Phung Kan.
Yeah.
Phung Kan.
Phung Kan.
No. Phung
Phung
Kan.
Kan.
No.
How am I wrong here? I don't get this.
Since you don't have the ear.
Kan.
Kan.
No.
What am I saying wrong?
You need it. It's a sharper. It's K. Kan.
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 No.
Say it.
Phung.
Phung.
No.
Phung.
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 Kan.
Kan. All right, we're done with this. We're done. I'm just gonna embarrass myself more.
You're gonna try it. All my brothers.
Like
have the same
legit,
last
I
name.
cannot say any of these words, even though I've been with her for literally
say-
a decade now.
Can you say? Well, Zach's
One
is
second.
Phung Wang.
This man.
Wait, Zach is from Wang?
Fung Wang.
Nope.
Did I say that right?
Nope.
No.
Oh, the Alex is fun.
Feng
Nope.
Am I literally? Do I sound like I'm saying this right, guys? Like.
No.
No. No.
Dude.
She's about to take the ruler. Is Drew there?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, tell him I said what's up.
Mac is,
Oh, don't
Yeah,
say
it's
what's up.
9:13, so we'll go ahead and call it. Then.
Dude, bro, we out here losing track of time. You know how we have a good time, baby.
Oh, dude,
know?
your hair looks just as fluffy as mine, Drew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've been wearing the hat. Yo, Paul left this over here.
Oh, perfect. The Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, bro. Bass Pro Shop's brother. I've been fishing like twice in my life.
He said took the head off and took the headset off and everything. Why he mad though? This man's upset. To us, yes. To her, probably not. It's all perspective. Hey, maybe see you online later. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, yeah, we kind of lost track of time. That was a very good conversation.
Yeah, I'd love to keep talking with y'all, but like, I got places to be,
Yeah, he's too cool for us, man.
I'm an important kind of guy.
Yeah, he's too cool. Tell Drew I said hey. So, all
I
right,
think I
guys.
did.
Oh.
All right, dude. Peace
Bye, guys.
out.
Thanks for daydreaming. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm pretty sure everybody is in this chat. And then drop a comment after this. Caylor, are you going live tonight?
Yeah, I'll probably do it in like 15 or so minutes or something.
All right. When he goes live, make sure you guys join his chat. So I love you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for daydreaming. Peace out. Dream team.